First one, Eric, is from David Eichholt.
What's going on, Eric? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Hey, so I know you mentioned on Saturday that you didn't see any jitters from Deacon, and it's obviously a big game for you guys, but it's a big game for him going to a place he's familiar with. Just kind of curious how you've kind of seen him go through the past couple of days of practice and how he's continuing to grow as a new starting quarterback.
Oh yeah, he was locked in. He's been locked in Tuesday and Wednesday, and he's been, I see him getting extra reps and just taking the extra reps, when they're really not supposed to be his reps, and that's always a good sign. Just seeing him get in there and he's doing good, and probably another great week of practice I've seen by him, just as far as hitting his target and making the right reads and stuff like that. So not that I know exactly what read he's supposed to take on throws and stuff, but just as far as like hitting his target, pretty much.
Next question is from John Steppe.
Hey Eric, I remember you mentioning, I think it was this past Saturday, about being from the same area as Caleb Johnson. Is that something that you guys talk about a lot in Skyline or Gold Star?
Yeah, we talk about it pretty much every time we talk. We bring up Cincinnati and different parts of Hamilton that we grew up in and stuff like that. We relate stuff all the time back home. But yeah, we talk about it a lot. And I personally like Skyline better than Gold Star. That's because it was closer to me, and I would just eat it all the time instead of Gold Star. So yeah.
Next question is from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, Eric, this program's history and tradition at tight end is well known, and it's really on display in the NFL. I was wanting to know, do you follow much of the Iowa guys in there? I know other than Sam, you probably didn't get to know them. And what have you learned since you've been on campus that's kind of maybe fortified that tradition and maybe helped you grow as a tight end?
Um. Well, I follow Sam a lot. I watch the Lions, and I really turned into like a kind of like a Lions fan, just because we got guys there from here for Sam and Jack and stuff and from last year we had Aiden go in. So I've been watching them a lot. And not only that, they were on Hard Knocks, and I loved watching Coach Campbell and stuff like that. Like I like grew into a kind of a fan. I've always been a Cowboys fan growing up, and so it's kind of like in between the Cowboys and the Lions is what I've been watching. And we come in on Sundays, so we don't really have time to watch that much of NFL football. So that's really who I've been watching. I try to catch the highlights and stuff of other games going on. So yeah, that and what was the second question? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's just really, what have you acquired since you've gotten here, both mentally, physically, to learn the position, and maybe how this is, why it's become so prevalent in the NFL at that position, at the one you play.
I think mainly the main thing is you have to be really like conditioned, and that's never been an issue with me, like just being like conditioned, like just like stamina wise, and that's never been an issue with me. But like man, like these practices are starting to wear me out, just as far as like reps and that's really what it is. Like I can see like why they because they don't get tired here, especially because you take so many reps at practice. You get out in there in the game, and that's like half the battle is just being available and in the game and being able to take a lot of reps. And I feel like NFL coaches would love that. I mean, I'm not really sure what they look at and stuff like that. I just go out there and try my best and my hardest. But just being an Iowa tight end is just being physical and being able to get in there and block and hit guys, and being able to separate yourself in routes and get open and catch the ball in traffic, and yak, of course, catching the ball out and getting yards after contact and after the catch and stuff like that. So yeah.
Next question is from Chad Leistico.
Hey, Eric. Kind of curious your observations first year in the program of how you see Ferentz or whoever it is teach you guys how to win these close games. I mean, Iowa is known for finding unconventional ways to win despite the statistical profiles at times. What have you seen in how this team has found ways to win this season? And you're 5-1 right now.
Oh yeah, I just we'd love to just blow every team out, but it's not always going to be like that. And we that's really our kind of way to win games so far this year. And really it's just just knowing that we're not always out of the fight, and we're willing to play 4 quarters and willing to just work downhill in the run game and in the pass game as well, just to just finish every game and try our best to come out on top. And it's all just fight and stuff, from the O-line and running backs and Deacon now, and the coaches too. We're just fighting and just to come out on top. So
Scott Docterman.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the adjustment of the blocking style here. Specifically, your backside knee has to be placed towards the midpoint of the guy. The way that Iowa blocks is somewhat unique, I guess. How much of a transition was that for you, especially because you're lining up all over the place? You're not just a traditional Y. I mean, you're lining up at F, you're lining up at H, you're kind of slotting at times, and so how challenging has that been for you to just make sure you're on your aiming points when you also are moving all over the place?
Yeah, it's really different, especially coming here from Michigan. We weren't taught to block like that. And, I was just or block like how we block here, and at first it was real difficult through spring ball. Well, in spring ball I wasn't really blocking at all anyways, because I was rehabbing my back and just getting back into things, but also in the fall camp as well. But it was just just so hard, like coming from the different system and learning to block here, and just blocking here, it's more of like an aggressive, like we're trying to bury guys every play, and it's no, like, I'm trying to, like, how can I put it? Pretty much we're just trying to run through a guy instead of like keeping the base and having our feet in the ground and and pulling them close. And yeah, we pull them close here too, but we're having our feet running and driving through people instead of keeping the base, to where like you don't get push pulled and you're balanced and stuff like that. So, but here is like coach believes in, and if you're driving a guy, you don't have to worry about being push pulled, because the guy is on his heels, trying to brace our pressure on them, which is great, and I love it. I love every bit of it, and I definitely feel like myself getting the hang of things, and in the block game, like in the inline blocking game, and just it's just different, and I'm getting the hang of it, and I'm excited about being able to get out and doing it in the games. So
I hate to jump
All right.
in here, sorry, James, but Robert Gronkowski described it with working with Brian on this as kind of pushing a car and then displacing the person, not just walling off the person.
yeah.
And Gronkowski described that as that was the difference in making him a great blocker versus an average one. Do you see the same elements when you are trying to do that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Coach Hodge hasn't referenced that, not while I've been here, but it makes a lot of sense, because there's like no base involved with it at all. You're just driving, like imagine just like putting your hands on the wall and just trying to just run through it. And that's all we do. And it definitely adds a different level to your blocking game for sure.
All right, two more questions, Eric. First one's from John Steppe.
As someone who's obviously known Cade for a while, how have you seen him kind of approach this injury adversity this time again now over this last kind of week and a half?
Yeah, just it's so easy to, fall apart, especially when you're going through 2 seasons, back to back, to where you get a season career or season injury, a season-ending injury, and it's so easy for you to fall apart and and be selfish and worry about yourself and or not worry about yourself and only just shut down and not be a leader of the team and stuff like that. Just it's so easy to do that, and he hasn't done that at all. He's actually stepped up and he's out there every day at practices and all the meetings. He's not he's not just worried about himself. He's taking care of the team, and he's still that leader of the offense and of the team, and he's looking out for guys, and and he knows we have his back through whatever. So he's stepped up and nothing's changed with him. He's same guy, high spirits, and he's always that. It doesn't surprise me at all. He's always been a guy that's just hungry and just attacking everything, and he's just going to attack this and come back and be a monster.
All right, last question is from Tyler Tashman.
Yeah, Eric, the back injury you dealt with in the surgery, just what all was that like, and trying to kind of get yourself back from that? How was that, just kind of going through that?
Yeah, it was awful. It started out real like minor, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. It was real frustrating because it could have been avoided, but it was just so frustrating. And it's probably the lowest like point in life that ever, because I've always been like a happy, positive dude, uplifting dude, but it was something just about that. Like I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't move. I couldn't, sit down in a chair. I couldn't, like it would hurt. It was during the winter. I had a cold. I had a real bad cold. So every time I'd sneeze and cough and stuff, it would send like this real bad aching pain down through my leg into my toes, and it got real bad. And it was to the point to where like I had like pins and needles in my toes, and like the doctors like were telling me that it was signs of permanent nerve damage, and there were like I was losing strength in my ankle. I couldn't get up on my toes and stuff like that, and like I was real like weak in my leg, and it was like to the point to where I had to get surgery, where I was gonna end up with like an ACL tear or something bad like that, and so I ended up having to get surgery, and it was bad. I've been playing since I was 4. I never once sat out a season in my life, so had to sit out, and it was hard, but at the same time I had my son Houston. He was on the way, and my family needed me, so I would just hide it, and just hide the bad thoughts, and just put a smile on my face and be there for my family. So